Hello and welcome to rFactor Sim Racing Central's coverage of the Up in Smoke Racing Caraway Speedway Icebreaker Down South 50 presented by jakesite.com. I'm here with Chris Myers, owner and admin of Up in Smoke Racing. Chris, as the 2014 Fall Champion for the Super Modified Series, how do you think that tonight's going to go, and how are you going to defend your title coming into 2015?
Well, first off, it's great to be here, and thanks for everything you do for the community. The biggest thing last year was consistency. Just finishing races and keeping your nose clean, letting the race come to you and not overdriving. This spring format, as we're calling it, opposed to the fall format, we took 6 weeks off in the middle, but this will play more of a qualifying points play a role in this one, heat race points play a role, as well as the feature. So you really got to finish at the front of the pack and, be a fast qualifier, finish in the top 3, top 4 in your heat, and be a top 5, top 6 contender in the features.
So, you've been around the Super Modified community for a long time. I know you've ran Sim Supers for at least 10 years, probably going on about 15. How do you keep it all straight between work, racing, and whatever involvement you have in the real life Super Modified community?
Well, we figure out what track we're going to run here, and I'll turn some laps there, see where everybody else is at, and develop a setup that'll suit that my driving style, how long the race is going to be, see when the tires come in. But I'll be honest with you, most of the time my hours at work are so sporadic. They could be 8 to 5, 8 to 6. They could be 12 to 9. I just hope to make as many shows as possible, and I'm a night owl, so I'll stay up till 12, 12:30 in the morning testing setups just to make sure I'm within the ballpark. And you know what? I let the race come to me and just go off that.
Alright, we've talked several times about sponsorships for Up in Smoke and the Super Modifieds. How do we get with that?
Well, we have jakesite.com coming on board here for the sponsor tonight. Jake Zoll out of Syracuse, New York. Great guy, great website. Brings some memories back for myself. Capturing all the latest Super Modified news, plus the old timers news. You can get a hold of us through Up in Smoke Racing on Facebook. You can also email us at upinsmokeracing2013@gmail.com. We have some very exclusive partnerships, different sponsorship packages to suit whatever you're looking to do. You can also view us on the website at upinsmokeracing.us. And we'll be more than happy to work within your budget and give you the maximum exposure your business or company deserves.
All right. Thank you, Chris. We'll see you tonight.
Thanks, Shirt.
Once again, Chris Myers, owner and admin of Up in Smoke Racing. Interview with Jake Zoll, sponsor of tonight's racing here at Caraway. Alright, Jake, as we've already discussed, you do a lot of work with the Super Modifieds. How did you become involved? And what's your plans as far as this season? I know you're up by the Oswego area.
No real plans. I've kind of retired from that scene a little bit. Matter of fact, I don't go unless I've got a friend or a brother that has a car. I like to hang in the pits. I'll probably go to a couple of shows this year, but I usually don't bring my camera much anymore. I did that a lot earlier times, and that's where a lot of my material came from for my website. I'm just about history now. I monitor their stats throughout the year and keep that updated, but unless I've got a horse in the race, I don't tend to go too much. I've got my brother who used to field a Super Modified up there intermittently over the years, is racing in the Midwest with sprint cars, and he'll be coming this way, at least for the Syracuse show, like he did this past year with the USAC sprinters. And I'll get involved with them, but I'm kind of retired from the scene a little bit and doing this instead.
All right, so how many years have you been with Up in Smoke and, more importantly, the super modified sim racing scene?
I've only been involved with the sim stuff since about April of 2013. I caught wind of it on Pinner's message board. AJ Truax had posted something on there, and I'd been wanting to get involved years earlier with the supers, but always kind of backed away from it. And this time I jumped into it, and that's the rest is history. Got myself a G27 and racing with all you guys now.
All right, thanks, Jake.
Okay, Jarrett. Take it easy.
I'm here with Brian Strickland, the other half of the head admin team here at Up in Smoke Racing, and your fast qualifier here for the Up in Smoke Racing Icebreaker Down South, presented by jakesite.com. First of all, I want to congratulate you on your top floor finish, although we don't get to interview you for that. Your qualifying effort, I just want to see how many laps you put into that.
Well, probably too many, but it paid off. Probably about 3,000, 4,000 laps somewhere. I lost track somewhere on Thursday. As for the car, that was actually just my heat race setup with a couple pounds of air added to each tire, and just tried to use the brake as little as I can and keep the momentum up through the center of the turn and hope for the best. I really thought an 8 was going to be fast time. Got lucky, I think.
All right, thank you. That was Brian Strickland, your league admin and fast qualifier here at Up in Smoke Racing. This is our final interview of the night, and it's with heat race number 1 winner and another one that wrecked out even though he was top 5 in the feature, even second at one point. Let's take us through that heat race, and then we'll go to the feature.
Yeah, the heat race was I didn't really do so hot on my qualifying lap. Put me up front in the heat race, and I knew if I got out front I could just pull away. I made a couple adjustments to the car, added a little stagger to it, and I was real comfortable at that point. I knew the car had plenty. It was just a matter of if I could get out and stretch it away a little bit, and that was the plan there. The feature was I was just trying to ride behind Dave, which was the plan all along. Just ride until 10 or 15 laps to go, but all those cautions just heat cycled me pretty good. Got loose on the I got loose on a restart right before I spun, and coming to the next green, I roasted him, getting back on the throttle and turned into the wall, and just made sure I tried to get out of everybody's way. Didn't want to cause a big pile up. But I got to thank also Extreme Racing, Ford for the power plant, and just Brian Strickland for putting the car together for me. And yeah, it was a good night. Wish I could have finished a little better though.
Don't we all? All right, that is Art Palmer, your heat race number 2 winner, and our last interview for the night. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and tune in tomorrow for our coverage of the Extreme Racing main event racing series from the Lorain County Speedway in South Amherst, Ohio. Here with Mike Bivens, your heat race winner here at the Up in Smoke Racing Icebreaker Down South, presented by jakesite.com. You ended up crashing out of the feature, I believe, but
Yeah, a little bad luck there, but it happens. That's racing.
But your heat race, I want you to take us through that. And
I started 8th, and don't think I had the best car out there, but cautions took me all the way up to the front, so that's kind of how I did that.
cautions really seem to play in everybody's favor here for the most part.
They definitely did in that heat race for me.
All right, thank you. That would be Mike Bivens, your Heat Race 2 winner. All right, welcome back to rFactor Sim Racing Central. This is the top 3 feature rundown with Soja, Myers, and Gavette. Alright, first off, Dave Soja, your future winner for the Up in Smoke Icebreaker Down South, presented by JakeSite.com. Dave, take us through them final laps holding off Chris Myers and Doug Gavette.
It was just a matter of trying to save some tires for the end. Kind of screwed up in qualifying and didn't have the right setup in, so I didn't get a good time. Started back in the heat and was able to get up to second in the heat. Put the inversion on the outside of pole. Was able to get by Bobby Gainward on the start and just kind of tried to set a halfway decent pace but not burn stuff up. I know the guys behind me had to come through the pack, so just tried to save some stuff at the end and was able to hit my marks and had smooth sailing. I know back in the field it was a little bit touch and go with a lot of guys. Just like to thank Extreme Motorsports, DNS Billiards, Mountain Dew, and all the guys over here Up in Smoke that put this on. Looking forward to coming back and doing some more. Had a rough year last year, so this is a good start to this year.
Alright, Myers, you're up. So, as the defending champion in the fall season, you had a lot going on this race. Take us through trying to get around Soja and also just how this feels to be the league admin of one of the greatest super modified organizations around.
Well, first off, congrats to Soja on the win. He was a class of the field by far in the feature. I didn't have anything for him. I thought maybe I did towards the end of that race. Just the tires were too far gone. But you know what? We'll take it. Hats off to him. He ran a great race again. The race was pretty solid. Might have burned my right rear up a little bit too quick. Started going about halfway through, a little bit before, and just had to bide my time. The heat cycles on the tires a little bit killed us, some of the drivers. Other than that, you know, I couldn't do it without the drivers that this league puts on. We got 20 guys, 20 of the best sim racers online, in my opinion. Couldn't do it without my co-owner, Brian Strickland. Does a lot during the day, does a lot at night, and it's a total team effort here at Up in Smoke.
All right, thank you, Chris. All right, Gavette. You are the one of the most rookie competitors in the field, and yet you managed to get a top 3 out of this. How's that feel?
Pretty good. You know, I had a bad heat spun out, but no, I got stuck behind the masters of this series. Learned how to conserve tires and just had enough to finish the race.
All right, thank you guys. That'll be your top 3, Soja, Myers, and Gavette.